So a lot of people ask how we met, and we didn't grow up knowing each other. We met in business school.
Mm-hmm.
We were in the MBA program up at Yale. You were a year in front of me, so you were a second year, and I was a first year, also known as senior freshman.
Yeah. There was the usual hazing.
Yeah, there was some hazing, but a lot of it happened out on the golf course, and every time I was out at the course, I would see you there, and that's how we became friends. We started playing some golf together and got to know each other and realized we had a lot in common.
Yeah, we both love golf, and we both like talking about clothes and what brands we were seeing out in the world that we thought were cool, whether they be new brands, upstart brands, or more established kind of old school brands.
Before we started the business, we talked a lot about the idea that you can take some of that ethos of classic style, tailoring, a very craft-like approach to manufacturing apparel, and tie it in with modern versatility and performance fabrics and things that we saw happening out in the world that we knew were interesting and we knew we wanted to participate in as customers with the busy lives we were leading, but couldn't find the styles we liked. So that was the opportunity. I remember the earliest conversations we had about the brand, it was the concept of tying those things together. Bring the classic style and put it with modern fit, modern fabric, all of that sort of thing.
But do you remember the first time this was like a real thing?
I do remember, and it was probably in the Old Town Bar in New York City after a round of golf.
Mm-hmm. Because the first idea was let's just make a polo shirt. Let's make a better polo shirt. And then as the story goes, and I think this is true, but the next morning we went to the garment district to figure it out. Feeling around bolts of fabric. I don't think we knew a woven from a knit, let alone a PK from a jersey.
That's right. And I think that's one of the recipes or ingredients to the success we've achieved is just coming at it from the customer's perspective. Just not really knowing anything about the industry. We didn't know the language that these people spoke in terms of the technical terms for fabrics and samples and patterns and tech packs, none of that. What we did know is how we wanted the product to look and feel and fit. We knew what we expected from a great brand, and I think that is a huge ingredient in the recipe of the continued success of the business, is just continuing to take that approach.
Nobody would have done half the things that we were trying to do, and that was what got us to what I think was the initial real unlock for us, which was the structured with the sewn and stay collar on a polo shirt. And it's something that had been done on woven shirts, but for whatever reason, it had never really been brought into the polo shirt. We were putting lead on collar stays to keep the collar down because the interfacing we put in was so strong it was making the collar flare. I mean, we tried a million things.
The thing that I look back on and smile about is the more we learned, the more excited we got. About the concept, about the idea of a brand, building careers in this industry. It just seemed like more and more fun as we went, and that fueled us in the early days because you're right, we made plenty of mistakes, but we decided we would learn from them and get stronger, and it snowballed.
Little known fact is initially it was Project Tillinghast because we didn't really have a brand name per se. And we were kicking around a bunch of ideas. It kind of dawned on us that most of our favorite brands, shirt makers and others, it was just the proprietors' names that was the brand name. And so we said, well, Holderness and Bourne. And I think it was, I credit Kate, Alex's wife Kate, to saying, well, you guys have really cool names that sound great. Why don't you just call it that? So we did. And maybe it's obvious in retrospect, but at the time we were grasping around for all different things. But once we settled on it, it felt right because what we were trying to do was something that was very authentic to us, whether it's the products we were trying to make, the way we were gonna, at this point, just theoretically, we had no customers, but treat our customers. It was kind of the way we would want to be treated as customers, the products we would want to wear as customers. It wasn't something we knew straight off the bat.
No. We liked the authenticity of it. I think that's what we were craving. I think that's what a lot of people crave these days is just authenticity, knowing what's behind the brand, knowing who's behind it, how they think, how they approach it. And so I think it's worked well for us because we care so much and because we really mean it. It's a mark of integrity when we put our names on the label.
Mm-hmm.